Yeah, hold on, y'all. Do this real quick. I ain't gonna worry about it. All right. So hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Get everything set up real quick. All right. Excuse me. All right. So first off, I've been gone for a while. For a while, it's been I think 3 weeks. And even though I still been active. You know what I'm saying? Still been giving out the word because if y'all follow me on TikTok, I've been on I guess the span of, in those 3 weeks where I've been gone, I've been on TikTok live. You know what I'm saying? Spreading the word daily. So I'm still not really taking a break. But besides just yesterday, because yesterday I wasn't on TikTok live, but I still I'm still kind of in the spirit a little bit, and I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to keep my mind right because I don't want to really fall out of that zone. You know what I'm saying? But for this, first, I'm gonna give all praise to you. How about you, Shah? I don't know if I already said that because I kind of spoke a little bit fast and everything. But if I did say, I'll just kind of reiterate it again. But the whole point of this video, right? And I might have to make another video because this video is going to be fairly short because of the fact I'm going to be talking about specifically one person and maybe a few other people and everything, but I'm not going to really be talking about Gentiles as a whole, right? But Ruth. Ruth is one person in the Bible that a lot of people have a dispute about whether or not she was an Israelite, whether or not she had salvation. It's a lot of different things. And think about it in the Bible, right? In the Bible, what a lot of people have a misunderstanding of is that anytime they may see a non-Israelite included, within the story, they think that salvation was given to them, right? But just because they are connected and they may be associated in some way with with an Israelite, when it comes down to whatever circumstances it is, it's not always salvation. It's always when somebody's trying to say, oh, just because I have a black friend doesn't mean I'm racist. Like just because you have a black friend doesn't mean that don't hate black people. You know what I'm saying? Like people try to make that excuse and try to make certain statements that just don't make sense at all. It's like you can't really try to sit here and say these things or try to presuppose something that's not true. You know what I'm saying? But the whole point of this video, like I said, is to talk about Ruth and to explain her and exactly why she's even mentioned in the Bible, right? So let's go get into it. Let me share my screen real quick because I want to make sure that y'all understand exactly what's going on with Ruth, right? So firstly, I'm gonna go to Ruth 4. All right, because this it's not like a long, like I said, it won't be a long breakdown because there are other people who made hour long videos explaining this, but I'm gonna get into the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? To explain to y'all what's going on. But I'm gonna Ruth chapter 4 verse 10, right? And this kind of I guess disproves that she was an Israelite because it disproves that she was an Israelite and also kind of ties into how she doesn't have salvation. Why? Because she's just included within a specific law that pertains to the Israelites, but also associates with Gentiles, right? So let me see if I can make this make sense for y'all. So Ruth 4:10, and this Boaz talking. I'm just to get some context. I'm gonna show you who's talking. So it says in Boaz. So who's Boaz? Let me just go ahead and search this up a little bit. Complete list. So Boaz, he's an ancestor of David. And then it says that he's a kinsman redeemer to Ruth. So basically, when I see the word redeemer, people always want to say that, oh, he added her into the bloodline or added her into the family, something like that. And it's like they I guess equate that, you know what I'm saying, to salvation, but salvation was not given to her at all. Like literally she just became a part of the family in terms of her being bought. I'm sure that's who y'all within this verse. But Boaz, he's an Israelite, right? He's an ancestor of David, right? So Boaz said to the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech. So I think he's also a part of the bloodline of Elimelech as well, which and he was an Israelite too. But it says, and all that was Chilions and Malons of the hand of Naomi. So y'all know about Chilion and Malon. Malon, those are the two daughters of Elimelech and Naomi, right? Elimelech and Naomi had two sons, which are Chilion and Malon, and they both married. They were sojourned. I think when a famine hit their land in Ruth 1, they sojourned to Moab and everything, and they had to basically marry Moabites basically, and they just happened to be the daughter-in-laws of the family, right? But later on, they basically became like a servant to, or Ruth became a servant to Boaz, right? Well, I'm sure that through this precept. So, verse 10, it reads, "It's still Boaz talking." He says, "Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess." So for one, it explains how she is a Moabite because it calls her a Moabitess. And some people try to I think I heard somebody try to make a certain doctrine that just because it says ESS Moabitess, it kind of like use that, I guess, pertaining to, but that's I think that's not really a good approach, because the word ish means to be like or to pertain to, but that's not that's not a good way to try to explain what I'm saying, who she is. But she is a Moabite, right? She is a Gentile, right? But it says, "Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Malon, have I purchased to be my wife." So she was purchased, and there's only one law. I'm not gonna say only one law, but there is a law pertaining to this type of act, right? Let me see where this Leviticus. Okay, Leviticus 25. Leviticus 25. This within the Mosaic law. Leviticus 25, verse 44. It reads, "Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids," right? So when it comes down to having a servant or a bondman, or like basically a slave, the only people who could be bought were heathens, right? So that's clear proof, because you're not finna buy, what I'm saying, your an actual what you call it, your actual people. If what you call it, if Ruth was actually an Israelite, why is she being bought? When it's literally a law saying that the heathen are the ones that are able to be bought, not your own people. You're not going to buy your own brother or your own sister or your own people. There's no law that says that it's okay for you to buy your own people or have your own people in bondage to you, or have your own people as a slave. That's not it. That's not how it was. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one dagger. You know what I'm saying, to let you know how, for one, that she's a heathen, and it was also a law pertaining to how she was meant to be bought, and also kind of tying into how just because she's included a part of the family doesn't mean that she received salvation. She was just bought. That's all. She was bought, and basically she was bought for a reason. In terms of how her when I think Boaz had children with Naomi, and basically not Naomi, Boaz had children with who was it? I think he had children with Ruth, if I remember correctly. Let me not misquote what the Bible's saying. Let me go down to verse 16. Hold on, Salakia. Okay, so Boaz took Ruth, and she, okay, exactly. So yeah, verse 13. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife, and when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception. So she was pregnant, right? So the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the woman said unto Naomi, "Blessed be the Lord, which have not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel, and he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thy old age, for thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, have borne him," right? And verse 16, and Naomi took the child. So basically, it kind of went off of Ruth and went straight to Naomi, right? And she's basically, Ruth was considered a concubine. And let me just show you what a concubine is for y'all who don't know. So it says in polygamous societies, right? Which letting you know that, for one, polygamy is what you call it. It is ordained, and it's given the okay in the Bible. So people who want to have that argument about whether or not a man can have more than one wife, is literally ordained in the Bible, and there's a law pertaining to that. You know what I'm saying? But let's not get you off track. Whole point is says a woman whose lives or socket, a woman who lives with a man but has lower status than his wife or wives, right? Quote unquote a mistress, right? So basically, Ruth was a concubine. She basically was taken bought as a slave and everything to bear children for Naomi, because Naomi, like her husband died. Y'all know about Elimelech, her husband died, right? So Boaz basically bare children, like through Ruth, and basically Ruth's child basically became uh um Ruth's child became, what's her name? Ruth's child became Naomi's child. My fault, Slack here. Ruth's child basically was put under the wing of Naomi, right? So look, right here it says verse 16, and Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became nurse unto it. And the woman, her neighbors gave it a name, saying, "There is a son born to Naomi." So even though Ruth, like actually, like had this son, it was still put under her wing. And the same thing was done, like back in Genesis, right? The same thing was done back in Genesis with Jacob and Rachel. How I think at one point Rachel was not able to bear children, so basically he had to have sex with one of her maids, which was her servant, right? Her bond maid. So Jacob was able to have sex with her bond maid to basically put the child that he had with her servant. It was put under the name or under the wing of Rachel, right? So it all connects to, for one, showing you how just because a heathen is a part of something or a heathen is included in something doesn't mean that they have salvation. They're just used for specific reasons. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully this makes sense to y'all. Hopefully this makes sense, because we got to understand, like, Hebrew culture, Hebrew customs, and exactly what's going on, you know what I'm saying, within the Bible and within context. You know what I'm saying? The fact that there's a lot of people in the Bible that we read of, but certain people in the Bible, like Ruth and everything, they have a specific role that they play. But just because they're, like I said, just because a heathen, like even with Lot, even though Lot was included in the Bible and was spared, there's a certain reason why Lot was spared, to basically, like, be the progenitor of the Ammonites and Moabites, right? So God can use, like, heathens for different reasons. Doesn't mean that they have salvation. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge false equivalence. You can't try to connect, like, people just can't try to connect not Gentiles, but basically heathen. Well, they're the same thing, but you can't try to connect heathens and their inclusion in the law and try to, like, connect that with salvation. Just because they're included in the law, or they may have a certain role that they play, or they just may be mentioned in the same breath as the Israelite, it doesn't mean that they have salvation. You got to get that out of that mind, out of that mindset, right? So hopefully this made sense. Like, so some people, like, this kind of clears up a lot of, like, confusion with the Ruth thing, because once again, it proves to you how she was actually a heathen and she's not an Israelite. It also proves to you that just because she was included, you know what I'm saying, and had a book, but even though this book was not really meant, it wasn't really meant for her. It was more so just about Naomi, and how there was a dispute at the time where basically people, there was a law. If you go to Deuteronomy 7, I think in verse 3, it talks about how we're not supposed to intermarry with anybody else, right? It was basically a law to not do that. But basically, there was a certain, like I said, there were certain instances where you could, right? Like I said, Jacob did it with Rachel and his his maids, and then Boaz did it with Ruth. So it all connects, like, just give you an exception to, the law. Basically, there are certain stipulations that you must follow and certain rules that you must be under, you know what I'm saying, to include a heathen, or to even have an excuse or a reason or a way to intermarry with the heathen or to have sex with a heathen, right? Like, they can be used for different things, different reasons. But in terms of, like, actually marrying them and having a fully committed relationship with them, that's like, that's really forbid by the Most High, right? Because let me just show you Deuteronomy 7 real quick. The Deuteronomy 7, it includes, like, all the different nations and everything that are considered, like, the enemies or whatever, right? And verse 3 says, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt thou not give to his son, nor his daughter shall thou take unto thy son, right? And it gives the reason why in verse 4, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly, right? So basically, there's a specific reason why it's forbidden for us to, like, intermarry with them and actually, like, have a fully committed relationship with these heathen, because they're gonna, like, push us and pull us away from the Most High. And you can see that clearly nowadays. How you have a white man, not a white man. You have a, not the same thing. Like you have a white man, a black woman, or a black woman and a not black woman, a black man, a white woman. Like literally, when it comes down to how those relationships are, like literally the Israelite man or woman, they veer away from the truth, or they may not even be living in the truth. You have them celebrating holidays that they shouldn't celebrate, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, breaking the Sabbath, not eating certain food, not avoid eating certain foods. A lot of different things that a heathen will cause you to do when you're literally committed. In a full blown relationship with them, or a full blown marriage, a full blown lifestyle, a full blown connection bond. You know what I'm saying? So they, like I said, they can be used for certain reasons, or there's certain reasons why they're included in the law. But it's because they're included in the law, and that they have some type of a connection or association with other Israelites, doesn't mean they have salvation. That's a false equivalence, like I said. So hopefully this video made sense. You know what I'm saying? I got more videos coming on the way. Like I said, I'm gonna make a video in the future, kind of going more in depth into how Gentiles cannot receive salvation, because a lot of people, like I said, once again, they have a mindset to where just because these people are included in this story, and that this may happen to this person, this may happen to that person, that means that, oh, they got salvation. Like, I just got to make a whole clarifying and edifying video about that, to like just clear things up and help people really understand, like, the essence of the Bible, like the real meaning of salvation, and who it's really for, and how it's exclusive to only Israel throughout the whole entire Bible. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do that at some point in the future, and I'm gonna give my precepts on that. But until next time, I want to end this off by giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Shah, and I love y'all. Peace and shalom.